Namaskaram. To register for our upcoming online yoga program with practices designed by Sadhguru, please click on the link in the description below.
Devotion is just a simple, sweet, beautiful way of just keeping yourself aside.
Devotion means you're devoid of yourself, that's devotion. And there is no greater intelligence than that, and there is no greater sweetness than that. The sweetness that a devotee knows, no lover will know, no pleasure seeker will know.
Devotion means you allow the existence to flow through you. You allow the grace of the existence to flow through you.
So, I want you to walk with a certain sense of wonder and devotion at everything. Just try this for next 24 hours. This is all that is needed to open the doors of life. Without this, spiritual path is a damn hard thing to do. Emotion, every experience that you go through in your life is, after all, your making. If only you could be conscious that anyway it is your making. You would definitely choose the sweetest way to be. Devotion is not only the sweetest way to be, it is also the highest form of intelligence. But people who claim to be devotees usually happen to be a bunch of idiots. So, people who think they're intelligent always strive to stay away from any form of devotion. What devotion means? Devotion does not mean going to the temple, mosque or church and doing a particular form of ritual. Devotion simply means that in your life, whichever moment in your life when you're aware that there is something larger than yourself functioning around you, there is no other way, you will be devout. When you're overwhelmed, if you are sensitive enough, if you're intelligent enough, if you're sensible enough to see that something far bigger than you is constantly in function, then you're naturally a devotee. There is no other way to be. You may not be bowing down, you may not be performing a ritual, you may not be sitting in a temple, you may not be doing any of those standard things which are expected. You may be not dressed like one. Maybe your clothes are not printed with God's name. Maybe you never uttered God's name in your mouth. But if you're aware, if you're conscious that something far larger than you is in function right now, you are naturally a devotee. There is no other way to be. When you're obsessed by the power of your muscle or the power of your mind or what silly little things that you can do, and you think that's everything, only then you're not a devotee. In that condition, you cannot be a devotee. When you think you're everything, you cannot be a devotee. When you see the reality of life, that you're just a small happening here, and something far larger than you is always in function, if you're aware of this, if this is a living reality for you, you're always a devotee. I have never said this before. I hesitate to say this because the word will spread and spoil my reputation that I am a devotee. Oh, come on, Sadhguru, you are a devotee, you're arrogant. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to look arrogant. What kind of devotee are you? Oh, you must be Shiva's devotee. Shiva is my partner. This will be very hard for you to digest. I'm devoted to you. Whether you understand this or not, it's very difficult to understand this. Devotion does not mean that I have to bow down to you or touch your feet or sing your praises. In every way, I live for you, that's devotion. I took this very birth to make this happen for you, and that's devotion. When you hold someone's well-being above your own, that's devotion. What a devotee does with absolute ease, many other people do it with great struggle. Just to keep this little fellow aside, what a lot of struggle! What a lot of struggle! Lifetimes of struggle. Standing on your head, holding your breath, crawling on the ground and all kinds of things. Devotion is just a simple, sweet, beautiful way of just keeping yourself aside.
We talk about devotion being the sweetest way to live. You also talk about how nature doesn't reveal itself easily.
What is nature?
Does not reveal itself easily. It takes heartbreaking sadhana to realize the truth. So my question is devotion enough?
Are you asking this question as a woman or as a banker?
As a woman.
If you're a woman, devotion is enough. If you're a banker, we need to do head-breaking, heart-breaking sadhana. I want you to understand, how difficult the spiritual process is going to be for you is determined by you, not by nature and not by your guru. The nature or the existence or the creator and your guru are seeing how to make it as easy as possible, as simple as possible, as quick as possible. Because if you take time, it's not a question of your life going waste, it's a question of my life going waste. If you don't make it, It's not a question of you failing, it's a question of me failing. You see, I don't like to lose. You can see that. I don't like to be on the losing side, you can see that. You must see how I drive on the street, I don't like to be on the losing side. If you're here as a woman, it's very simple. But you're so many other things. Foreign banks are difficult to handle because there are hidden clauses. In every agreement we sign, there's a hidden clause. You print it in microprint that it takes a lifetime to read them. So most people sign them without reading them. So wipe out all the hidden clauses. Just be here as a woman, very simple. If you're here just as a man or just as a woman, that's it takes. It doesn't take all this talking and nonsense and rubbish. If I just do this, you should just be there. So, devotion is another dimension of intelligence, which unfortunately today's world has lost out on. There was a fabulous saint. In Andhra Pradesh, there is no home in Andhra Pradesh who will not have at least a little book about this saint. His name was Vemanna, his name was something else, they called him Vemanna. So his name is Vemanna. So he was with his guru, and this boy is little dim, he's a dim companion. He's such a simpleton, can't get anything straight. I have a lot of them like that. And they're doing great. They can pull off anything. It is the intelligence one, it's people who think they're intellectually smart who are getting all tangled up in Isha. Simpletons are doing great. Somebody else may think he's nothing, but just see the result he's creating, it's fantastic. So, this is a simpleton. Everybody, he's every butt of everybody's jokes. One day, but the guru takes kindly to this boy because he's not smart like others. So one day, guru has an important function or an event to go to, so he goes to the river for bath. And his clothes folded. He tells the boy, you hold the clothes in your hand, stand here, don't keep it down. Because the ground is wet and it'll get soiled, don't keep it down. Just hold it, that's all. So the guru went in to take his ritual dip and wash himself, and when he came out, the boy had kept it down. The clothes were soiled. And he kept it down because when the guru looked like this, he thought he needs something and he kept it down and ran to the guru. He's simple, one thing at a time. He cannot handle two things at a time. Because these are two things, clothes and guru. Two is complicated. And the guru looked at this. Now he has to go somewhere, his clothes are soiled, and he told him repeatedly, don't keep it down, don't keep it down, and he keeps it down. So he gave him a little chalk and he told him, you fool, there's nothing else you can do. Sit here and write just Rama, Rama, Rama on this rock, nothing else. You can't do anything better, just do this. Hope grace will descend on you. Just sit here and write Rama, 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 just over and over again on the same place. The boy felt so ashamed, so pained, because he let down his guru. He told him so many times, but somehow he cannot get it. So he started writing. The guru left in a rush. After the whole day, some event, he came back in the evening And first thing is he asked for this boy, where is he? Because he was feeling bad for the harshness with which he spoke to him. He was nowhere to be seen. Oh, then I told him to write Rama and we need not give the next instruction, maybe he's still there. And he went. The boy was still writing Rama. The chalk had worn out long time ago. His forefinger and thumb had worn out right up till here, and he was still writing Rama, 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 Rama. The Guru just took him and embraced him. And this boy, I don't know how many, somebody who's knowledgeable about this should say, he wrote hundreds of fabulous poems, which is even today, after a few hundred years, even today there is no Telugu-speaking home where there will be no book on Vemana's poems. Almost every home will have it. Anybody who can read and write, in their home there will be, and just about everybody is conversant with these poems. Brilliant poetry, he just poured out of his devotion. So that's what devotion can do, because devotion is another dimension of intelligence. Devotion is the intelligence, you understand there's a bigger intelligence and you have learned to keep your little intellect aside. That is devotion. Devotion does not mean every day doing puja, doing this, doing that. Devotion simply means your involvement with life is so absolute that even you don't matter anymore. Your involvement with what you have taken up is so absolute that who you are does not matter, then you're a devotee. Devotion means you're devoid of yourself, that's devotion. And there is no greater intelligence than that, and there is no greater sweetness than that. The sweetness that a devotee knows, no lover will know, no pleasure seeker will know. Even if you go to heaven, you will not know. Heaven is a bad place, believe me. You better make it here. They have told you what kind of people went to heaven. With those people, can it be a great place? People who are thinking of fluffing around on clouds, that's their greatest pleasure. People who are thinking of 12 virgins, great food, drink. You want to end up with those people for the rest of your eternity? Do you want to shack up with these people who just go to some faraway place just because they want to drink in rivers? Please don't end up there. This is a great place, and there should be no next place for you.
Guru, I'm having a hard time with devotion, and I've been reading everything I can find about things you've said and driving everyone around here crazy, asking all of them, what's devotion, and I'm hoping that you can explain it to me in a way that I understand. Please.
You want to understand devotion or you want to know devotion? You want to know devotion. You want to know devotion, it's one thing. Understanding devotion is an academic thing. Devotion means that which is devoid of you. It's a different dimension of intelligence, where your intelligence has flowered to a point, you understand. If you have strived hard enough in your life, you understand this body, this brain, this one can do only this much. But there is something here which is much larger than this one. If you understand this, you will not make more and more out of yourself. You will make less and less out of yourself. When you become nothing, you are naturally devout. Devotion means you allow the existence to flow through you. You allow the grace of the existence to flow through you. Intellect means you will divide everything into a million pieces and you believe you have understood. So don't go about trying to understand. Do you know that last leaf, that leaf which only came up 2 days ago? Do you understand this leaf? Do you? Do you? Why, you're not a science graduate? You study all the goddamn biology that's there on this planet, you will still not know what it is. An ant which is crawling right now in front of you. Do you understand this ant? Do you understand this ant fully? No. Do you understand a single atom in this existence? Even a subatomic particle, do you fully understand? So when you realize everything is here, is beyond you. An ant, the way it is made, the mechanics of the ant, just see those 8 legs, how efficiently they're walking without getting tangled up. Just the mechanical part of it, you're not able to understand. Leave the other aspects of it. So if you see everything is beyond your understanding here, from a leaf to an atom to an ant to an atom to a subatomic particle, everything is just beyond your understanding. Would it be not natural for you to bow down to everything that you see? You think you got it, so now you have to trying to understand devotion. You cannot understand anything, but you can experience everything if you're willing and open. Devotion means you're an absolutely open doorway to life. A devotee, once you identify yourself with your intellect, immediately devotion looks like a stupid thing. Of course, a lot of devotees are stupid. Or a lot of stupid people claim they are devotees. Lot of idiots on the planet who are full of fear claim they are devotees. In India, it's become synonymous, Bhaya Bhakti. That means they're uttering the word Bhaya means fear, Bhakti means devotion. They're uttering these 2 words as if they are same. If you are in fear, obviously there is no devotion in you. If you are in devotion, there just cannot be any fear in you. There simply cannot be any fear in you if you're in a state of devotion. But now people understand these 2 things which are diametrically opposite to each other as one thing, because it's convenient for them. This has become the normal understanding because all kinds of idiots, the most idiotic on the planet, claim that they are devotees. Stupidity is not devotion. Devotion is a different dimension of intelligence which has understood that intellect is a limited instrument. With this you cannot grasp the world. Stretch this intellect to its limit, you will clearly realize, with this you can survive. With this you can look smart in a tea party. With this you can make money. With this you can find a job. But with this you cannot grasp the existence. It doesn't take long to understand this. If you understand this, then you will naturally bow down and become a devotee. It's not an act, it is absence of your rubbish, that's devotion. When your rubbish stops, devotion is. Devotion is not an act. That if you go and do puja in a temple or pray in a church or stand upside down, that's not devotion. They're trying to work up their devotion. Devotion means you have seen the limitations of who you are and you have seen the boundlessness of what it is. Compared to this and this, it looks too small, too minuscule. So naturally, you will be devout. There is no other way to be. You understand, being identified with the smallness of who you are is the only barrier you have, and you will become devoid of yourself. When you are devoid of yourself, you are a devotee. There is no other way.
Unfortunately, this has been the way of the humanity. When they feel helpless, they bow down. When they feel little powerful, they step on your head. There's nothing new about it in this world. So devotion means just that, to change that. That you do not choose whether situations or people as to how you are. You are the way you are. That your way of being is not any more determined by who is standing in front of you. That's the idea of devotion. Everything else, whatever other values you know, other ways of behavior you know with people, always is determined by who's standing in front of you right now and what kind of situation are you in right now. Devotion means just that. Somebody is there, nobody is there, whoever is there, whatever the situation, you are still the same person. This is the best way to establish your way of being. Right now, that's the whole problem. You are still too much of a flux. When you're so much of a flux, how to take you anywhere? You will naturally spill out somewhere, isn't it? That's exactly what's been happening with your life. Not just one person, I'm saying with everyone. You try to go somewhere, then you find half of you is there. So you have to go back to recollect that, and most probably you won't come back anyway. So devotion means just that your way of being is no more determined by anything or anybody. The situations in which you exist and whom you're facing right now will not determine the nature of your being. This is how you are. Because devotion is that which is devoid of you. There's no sense of me when you're devout. If you constantly bow down to everything, genuinely, not as an exercise, not because somebody has told you, genuinely if you bow down to everything that you see within yourself and outside of yourself, then you will see there'll be no such thing as you left. When you're devoid of you, you're always the same. Once your way of being has become consistent, now we can take you somewhere. It's possible to move, it's possible to make a journey, otherwise the journey will be a deceptive journey. You will not go anywhere because you're too fluid. So that's exactly what we're trying to change. We don't doubt a bit that if you're threatened with a gun, you will lick that man's boots. Do we have any doubt? No. You definitely will. But if the same man comes begging in front of your house, but if the man pulls out a gun, this has to change. This has to change. That's what devotion is, to change that. That situations and entities which appear in front of you will not determine the nature of who you are. You will always be the same way.
If you really want to be in the lap of grace, what is needed from you is you walk like a devotee, not in pretension, not a pretentious devotee. As I said earlier, you do not know how this tree actually functions. You do not know how this blade of grass happens. You do not know how anything here is working. Do you know? No. So I want you to look at everything. Everything seems to be little more intelligent than you. When you are so dumb, you better. When you see a tree, if you see the mountain, the blade of grass, everything, I want you to look at them for who they are, for what they are. No, my body is also… that is fine, your body is super. Your body is doing many things that you do not know. You as a person, what do you know? Do you know even what this blade of grass knows about life? You do not know. So I want you to look at everything. Even a grain of sand, it knows a lot more than you about life. So you are a junior here. They were all here way before you, and they know much more than you about life. So I want you to walk with a certain sense of wonder and devotion at everything. Just try this for next 24 hours. That's all that's needed. This is all that is needed to open the doors of life. That you do not think too much of yourself. You do not think something about you which is not true. Whatever you think about yourself is very untrue. Because when it comes to basic life, what this soil knows, you do not know, isn't it? Yes? Generally, in America they call soil dirt. What this dirt knows, you do not know. Your brain cannot do what this soil is doing. Is it a fact? Is it a fact? So, when there are such big people, stalwarts around you, you walk gently. You understand? Don't go like this. Because they are not simple. If you just walk like this, if you walk with devotion, slowly you will fall into the lap of grace. Without this, spiritual path is a damn hard thing to do. What I have been through, I don't want anybody to go through. That's why the effort.
Namaskaram. To register for our upcoming online yoga program with practices designed by Sadhguru, please click on the link in the description below.